What's up, guys? Amazing Menace here. So, I'm gonna tell you a story about my first year in high school. See, high school is one of those places where everyone is still discovering themselves. So, back then, I was trying to be a little less crazy, a little more sane and normal, but I still had some funny stories. See, back then I was just discovering that I enjoyed music, so a lot of times, once I kind of got in the swing of things, I would go in the lunchroom and do little mini performances. I would start out just doing Linkin Park covers, as every edgy teenager does. And I would try to get the screaming growls out, just like the singer of Linkin Park. And after a while, it started to gain the attention of people in the lunchroom, and everybody would start clapping. Once the assistant principal there noticed, he would pull me to the side and basically reprimand me about singing in the lunchroom and causing everybody to clap. I found this completely absurd, and I still find it pretty frustrating, because I'm just trying to discover myself back then. I was just trying to, express my individuality. And he tried to shut that down, but I'll say this, it didn't work. See, after a while, I decided to add another layer to my performances. I had this dance that I called the reverse twerk. And so, one time, I actually got up on the table and started doing the reverse twerk. If you can't tell, the reverse twerk is just basically humping the air. But obviously this didn't go over well with the leadership at that school. So they told me if I do that again, then I'm gonna get Saturday detention. So I decided to move my performances to a different part of the school where they weren't necessarily supervising. So I would do it in the hallway around the band and orchestra areas. Some people would meet there for lunch and, hang out. A couple of my friends would actually hang out there, so I would still do those performances every so often. But another thing that happened a lot was people trying to show off in gym class. So a lot of times they would try to encourage you to use heavier weights when weightlifting. And sometimes they would go back and forth and clean the bar. And I'd gotten to where I could pretty easily clean the bar with just one or two, I think they were 45-pound plates on either side. But one day, some of them just decided to be too macho, and they stacked on 3 plates. And they were like, all right, you're up. So I tried to, basically thrust it up above my head, but I couldn't get it all the way. So instead of just letting it drop, I decided, no, I'll give this another go. So I brought it back down to my chest, and I pushed it up again. And I couldn't get it up again. So it just came down and dropped right on my head. And from that day forward, I was always a little stupid. Just kidding. But it did hit my head pretty hard, and I stood right back up. But I did end up feeling a little strange that day. Everything was kind of spacey. But yeah, I think everyone in gym class was a little shaken after that. They didn't really try to push it as hard after that. But on a different note, there was this one kid at that high school, and he never seemed to be in any class. He was just kind of there. And after talking to some of my peers about him, I found out that his nickname was Crackhead. And there's a pretty interesting reason why his name was Crackhead. See, I guess somewhere along the lines he just kind of stopped going to his actual high school and just started hanging out in the hallways of my high school. And rumor has it that he would smoke weed and crack in the bathrooms. And I saw him for a few weeks, but then one day I'm heading to one of my classes, and I see the school police officer kind of rushing down the hallway, and then I see one of the principals rushing down from a different angle. So I round the corner and I see Crackhead, and he gets arrested right there. I witness it. I can see just this broken look on his face, like he's finally been caught. Well, I guess the rumors were true. They found weed and crack on him. And apparently, he had just started skipping school and going over to our school. Which was funny because his parents didn't even know about it. They would actually drop him off at school every day, and he would walk all the way over to our school. But I never saw him again after that. I just remember everyone talking about him for a few days. I guess the lesson here is, no matter what you're doing, no matter how much attention you're trying to grab, or what you're dealing with, whatever you do, it's not going to be remembered for very long. I mean, yeah, it's a story I'm telling you, but at the end of the day, no one in that high school really thought about him again. It was just kind of like a tall tale. And I'm sure he ended up in juvie after that. But yeah. I have more stories about that school, but I'll save that for another video. If you enjoyed, definitely leave a like and let me know what you enjoyed down in the comments. And with that said, I'll catch you next time.